The following is an EHC media production.
What's going on, RWT family? This is your boy, Marquez. I'm coming at you with a fresh episode of the Major League Show. I know, a long time no listen. My apologies on that. Very busy, man. Just like professional wrestling has been for all of us. Very, very busy times. So, of course, just like I do each and every show, I like to get into a little bit of news from all over the wrestling world. And then we get into the great news that is all things New Japan Pro Wrestling. So first, let's talk about somebody leaving Japan and heading to the WWE, and that is Io Shirai, a former Stardom champion. She was in talks coming to the WWE last year and has originally been in talks since October of 2016. However, they found out when she went through a medical that she has, I want to say it was a heart issue, and because of that, they ended up declining her, I guess, not status or whatever. Like, they ended up not picking her up. So she stayed in Japan for another year and all that. Excuse me. Continued to make a name for herself and make all this money and all that, because I guess she's one of the better merchandise sellers in all of Japan, even though woman or not, actually. So she's going to be heading, of course, you know, she needs to pass the physical. Pardon me. Nobody has said yet when her physical is, but I'm looking in on that as best as I can. But what it looks like is she's been brought in for what's possibly going to be a second season of the Mae Young Classic. Hopefully it'll be her versus like Toni Storm. So, but again, Io Shirai on her way probably to NXT, but I did mention Toni Storm, so let's go into Toni Storm. Toni Storm has been losing all of her championships, is currently beltless to my knowledge, and has signed a contract to be on the has signed a UK contract working with the UK brand, which I'm being told should be a TV show sometime by August, October, September-ish, sometime down in the fall area. There should be a UK show. They've already named a commissioner in Johnny Saint on that one. And they pretty much have a pretty packed roster, and I'm sure more guys are willing to come. So, again, guys, that's two new ladies coming in, and they're two fantastic wrestlers. So, what I feel like I need to get into, because it's been so long since I've been here, I did not hang out and give reviews for the Best of the Super Juniors, and I apologize for that. Nor did I for Wrestling Dutaku, which was a 2-night show. But for those of you who are willing to go back and I guess do all that fun stuff, if you want to go back, if you feel it absolutely necessary to go back and watch stuff from Wrestling Dutaku, here are a few matches I recommend everybody watch. First one I watch is from night 1. It is the Never Openweight 6-man tag team championship match. The current champions at the time, Bad Luck Fale, Tama Tonga Loa, taking on the new champions as of current, Marty Scurll, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson. We already know who wins that one. Two more matches I recommend from night 1 are, of course, Cody taking on Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega taking on Hangman Page. And what was a pretty good match. I felt like maybe Adam tried a smidge too hard. Should have just kind of went with the flow a little more, but it is what it is. And the match was pretty okay. Actually, it was better than pretty okay. My apologies. So for the next one, there's a 10-man tag. It's the Bullet Club plus the Golden Lovers taking on the other members of the Bullet Club. So it's Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Bad Luck Fale, Tama Tonga Loa taking on Cody, Hangman Page, Marty Scurll, Nick, and Matt Jackson. That's a good match. Goes about 8, almost 9 minutes. it's a match. I don't recommend that it's going to be the greatest 10-man you've ever seen, but it has a lot of great wrestlers and it does a great job. The two other matches from this night I recommend everybody at least check out once, and that is Will Ospreay versus Kushida in the junior heavyweight title match. Dave Meltzer gave that a 4 3/4 stars. I personally felt the same way. I didn't feel it was a 5-star match, but it was just on the brink. But what I did feel was a minimum of a 5-star match was Kazuchika Okada taking on Hiroshi Tanahashi and defeating him, and what Dave Meltzer gave a 5.5-star rating to that one. So those are two those are two shows from the past I recommend you check out. Other matches I recommend you check out. During the Best of the Super Juniors tournament, there were a few good matches. The opening match with Tomohiro Ishii and Will Ospreay I thought was excellent. I also thought the Dragon Lee and Desperado match was one of the better matches of the tournament. I felt like the Flip Gordon Will Ospreay match it felt like it wanted to be Ricochet and Will Ospreay, but for what it was a good match. Flip Gordon has a few things to learn, but he's going to learn them fast in Japan. Let's see, there was there was Taichi and Flip Gordon I thought was a pretty okay match as well. I also thought Kushida and Hiromu Tanahashi and Desperado was another good match. So those are I think there was 4 matches I recommend, and the 5th one I highly recommend everybody go check. It is my personal favorite junior heavyweight match this year, and I think possibly the best junior heavyweight match I may have ever seen, and that's this year's Super Junior Finals, and that's Hiromu Takahashi against Ishimori, and pardon me. Hiromu took some crazy spots in this match, and it was really good. It's definitely worth a watch. The in-ring was great, but some of the high spots they did was a bit crazy. So I can't say that I'm upset at them about that. I personally think that that's about as good as you're going to get. So, no harm, no foul. So it is official. It is June, folks. Today is June 11th. And for those who are hardcore fans of professional wrestling, especially New Japan Professional Wrestling, they know that June is G1 time. So here are a few, oddball matches set up for the G1 tournament times. I will say I'm happy to see this name on the list right here. Looks like Jeff Cobb coming back for another stint in Japan, teaming with Tobei Makabe, Horane Kushida, and Taguchi to take on Toriano, Yoshihashi, Rocky Romero, and Roppongi 3K. There's also going to be June 17th going to hold a title match, and that is Michael Logan against the former Never Openweight champion Hiroki Goto for that said Never Openweight championship. Let's see, we also have on night 18 here, we have Hiromu Takahashi taking on his first opponent, and that is El Desperado for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, and I feel like that is going to be one hell of a match. I think it's going to be very, very good. I can't say if this is so much a good match or just for the fact that it's plain and simple interesting, but a super strong style machine will be making its retirement match on June 19th during the G1 tournament. Apparently, Super Strong Machine has been was the very first masked wrestler in all of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and has been there for over 4 decades. So this is the match for that one. This is, Strong Machine number 69, Strong Machine Ace, Strong Machine Justice, Strong Machine Don, Strong Machine Buffalo with Super Strong Machine, taking on Tetsuya Naito, Evil Sanada, Bushi, and Hiromu Takahashi. So those are a few interesting and hopefully really good matches during the G1 tournament. Now, shortly after said G1 tournament, is going to be the awesome Cow Palace show, which, hooray for me, I will be attending. So, what it looks like it's going to be so far is they've announced 5 total matches for the Cow Palace, and here's a few of them. It is Kenny Omega taking on Cody for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. I think it's going to be a pretty good match, and I was kind of hoping for that at the Cow Palace. We have a rematch from Dominion, the Young Bucks taking on Evil and Sonata for their newly won IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. It looks like it's going to be Juice Robinson taking on Jay White for the U.S. Heavyweight Championship. That's all I have right now. I'm looking at this awesome thing. Looks like Okada and Will Ospreay will be teaming up to take on Tetsuya Naito and Ibushi. And that's honestly all I see. I don't see anything different that I have not already announced. If I'm missing any matches that you know about, let me know in the comment section below. And you'll be a smart mark because of that. So, speaking of smart marks, I guess. I don't know if this is necessarily smart marks. Let's get into the Dominion show, the awesome show that it was. The fact that this show was quite possibly one of the best shows I've seen overall. This was such a good show that it had 6 consecutive 4-star matches. And as I go down the match card and I go through all the matches, I will give you those that turned out to be 6-star matches. So give me one hot second as I grab my lovely notes here. That's right, folks. We're doing the old pen and paper in this joint. Jiminy Christmas, can this guy stall any longer? You bet your ass he can, but he's not gonna. He's gonna move. Here we go. So, we have the Junior Heavyweight Tag Title match. It's El Desperado and Kanemaru, the champions, taking on the challengers Yo and Sho. Yo and Sho ducked a belt shot early on. As the match starts off hot, as the match started, Suzuki Gun turned it into a brawl. Kanemaru hits Yo with the DDT on the apron. Yo just barely beats a 20 count, taking it all the way down to 19. Yo takes a beating for a while, makes a hot comeback, hits a dragon screw, then a vertical suplex before tagging in Sho. Sho coming in with a hot tag, hits clotheslines in the corner, and then spears them, hits 3 straight Germans for a near fall. Desperado finally slows down Sho's momentum with a big spine buster. Sho gets the advantage on the outside. Yo and Sho get the advantage on the outside. Desperado. Wow, I cannot read my own handwriting. This is absolutely terrible. Desperado attempts to mistakenly spits whiskey in the face of Kanemaru. Desperado misses the low blow. This is terrible. Everything is like all out of whack. Misses the low blow. And then kicks out of a lung buster. Desperado bumps the ref. Kanemaru hits Sho with a whiskey bottle as they pick up the victory with the 1-2-3. Still your IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champions, Kanemaru and El Desperado. I felt that this was a pretty good match to start it off. It's not blowing my socks off. I've seen Yo and Sho in better matches. I've seen Desperado and Kanemaru in better matches. So for the opener, I will definitely take it for what it is. Next, we have a quick one here. We have Juice Robinson and David Finlay taking on the U.S. Heavyweight Champion Jay White and Yoshihashi. White starts the match off early, jumping both of his opponents. Jay and Yoshi work over Finlay for a bit before Juice gets the hot tag, sets up Jay and Yoshihashi in a tree of woe, hits them with a cannonball, then hits a high cross for a near fall. Things go crazy. All 4 guys hit the ring. Juice is able to hit Jay White with a Pulp Fiction out of nowhere, pretty much, as everything kind of broke down. hits Pulp Fiction, picks up the 1-2-3. Yoshihashi sucked in this match. These are my notes from this match, folks. Juice looks great. Juice is over. Let's just say that. David Finlay, crazy underrated, and I have exactly that. Finlay, crazy, overrated, just like that. Yoshihashi was a big waste of time. He felt like he was the weakest link in the entire match. Looks like Jay will be going against Juice for the U.S. title. I don't necessarily see a title switch, but I think given it being the Cow Palace, if they really wanted to, they can do a title switch, and this one would work out perfectly. So we'll jump into the next match. Which was actually the first of the the first of the 4-star match. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no. One of these matches didn't get 5-star. Anyways, I'm over here trying to guess this whole bit, but let's keep it rocking. We had the Suzuki Gun match. Says during Suzuki and Saber's entrance, Kevin Kelly mentioned that a fan from New York sent a present to Minoru Suzuki, and it was a painting. Don asked if Kevin said, did he choke her out? Don Callis is the best announcer ever. I'm just going to say that probably over and over and over. These guys make the main event commentary-wise. So, Saber being very mat-based, Ishii tries Yano, goes for his hair pull spot, but Suzuki has no hair, so he sticks his tongue out on him. That was awesome. This match, pretty much what this match was, it was Saber would come in, beat the shit out of Yano. Suzuki would come in, beat the shit out of Yano. Yano gets his ass kicked. The strike exchange by Ishii and Suzuki hurts me just watching it. These guys go back and forth, kicking the shit out of each other all match long. Zack Sabre looks incredible with all of his mat moves, but all you see is just these two guys slugging out in Ishii and Suzuki, and it's awesome. They hit, I guess, tag team. Well, Sabre has, I want to say, Yano in Rings of Saturn, and I think he had Minoru Suzuki had Ishii in like a heel hook or something like that, and that's how they picked up the win. So, like I said, this was a good match. You know what I mean? Suzuki and Ishii continued to fight after the match. They were going after each other with chairs, brawling all around, of course, beating up some young boys. That's what Suzuki does. So expect this match to happen again sometime later on down the line. It doesn't look like the Cow Palace, which is fine, but whenever this match happens, it's going to be pretty awesome and hard-hitting. So, jump into the next one here. So, just to start this off, apparently Michael Elgin is down 40 pounds, and you can definitely see it. His physique is kind of on point. You know what I mean? The match starts out. I mean, he looks bigger. He looks like he's in great shape. So, the match starts out. Taichi wants no part of the match. Elgin and Goto started up. Tries to go for a roll-up early, but Elgin is... Taichi tries to get a roll-up out of nowhere, but Elgin's right there to shut it down. Elgin and Gogo slug it out. Taichi continues to run and hide. That seemed to be his gimmick this whole match. Finally, Taichi gets in the match, and he and Goto go for a short time. They try to double team Elgin, land double kicks to the chest. Taichi goes to shake Goto's hand. Taichi goes to shake Goto's hand. Goto's like, okay, yeah, whatever, bro, and just suplex him. Then throws him to the outside. Elgin in. Does a nice tope to both guys on the outside. They brawl on the floor for a little. They brawl on the floor for a little bit. They go. All three of those guys go back up. Taichi hits the lariat. Goto near fall, celebrates with his pants spot. He rips his pants off and look at my extra small fucking tights. He's fat and he's not like fat like I consider myself fat. But like he's a chunky dude and he's got these little ass fucking trunks on and it looks fucking weird. Later on in the match, they teased a superplex spot before delivering a new spin on that, hitting a springboard from the apron, and then a big powerbomb. Goto and Elgin trade forearms. Elgin hits an electric chair, bridges it into a pinfall attempt, but Goto kicks out. Taichi goes for a pinning combo, gets nothing. Match goes for a little bit. Elgin hits Goto with the buckle bomb, then hits Taichi with the buckle bomb, ends up hitting the, spin out power bomb on Taichi to pick up the 1-2-3. Michael Elgin, your new never open weight champions, the first title switching over. So the North Americans are now running everything. I say North Americans because if you say Canadians, you kind of leave it as a demographic. Now, if you do North Americans, you could be like, oh, well, they're still considered American, which means U.S. and da-da-da-da, and I think that's how they want to look at it. Next matchup was the Young Bucks match, and this match was totally on another level. This was a very good storytelling match. Apologize for the background noise right there. It's a very good story in this whole match. Nick and Sonata started off. Bucks hit stereo drop kicks after Nick hits a springboard arm drag. Nick goes for a springboard corkscrew to the floor outside, back inside the ring. Evil hits a sidewalk slam on Matt. Then Sonata hits a drop kick. They connect. Then he connects with a standing moonsault onto Matt, picks up a near fall. Evil misses a standing senton, and Sonata misses the plancha to the floor, but Nick is knocked off the apron, so Matt has nobody to tag. Matt Sullen is back from all the way back from their feud with Yo and Show. Matt all of a sudden gets on a sharpshooter on Evil, however, actually no, I totally jumped way ahead. Soul is back. There you go. He's reaching. He finally gets it. Nick gets the hot tag. Comes in. Bulldog clotheslines. Goes for the slingshot knee strike from the apron. Evil ducks. Nick goes to kick him. Ends up kicking the post. Sells it like his foot is hanging off the bone. And that's how he sold it for most of the match. Matt missed with the super kick. Nick. And ended up hitting Nick. Sending him to the floor. As Evil and Sonata work over Nick. They go for the magic killer on Nick, but Matt ends up running in for the save. They did a stacked up superplex. All four men are down. Nick hits an enziguri on Evil and sold his broken foot. Matt and Sonata tagged in. Matt gets Sonata set up for an Indie Taker, but Evil pulls Nick off the apron in the Indie Taker attempt. Matt applied a sharpshooter on Evil, but Sonata was the legal man. Sonata went for the skull in on Matt, but Nick hit a missile drop kick. Again, all four men down as they were pretty blown up in this one. Evil tries to go for Darkness Falls hits Darkness Falls, gets a near fall, goes for an STO, but Matt turned it into an Indie Taker as Nick tries to springboard off the ropes. His foot gives out and he falls. Evil and Sonata end up hitting an Indie Taker of their own on Matt. And then they hit a magic killer, but Nick comes in for the last second save. Evil went for Everything is Evil, but Matt turned it into a backslide for a near fall. Matt survived a lariat, but ate a drop kick from Sonata, who hit one on Nick for good measure. Sonata missed a top rope moonsault, ate a spear from Matt. Evil ate stereo super kicks. Sonata came off the top rope, super kicks to him as well. The Bucks come with more bang for your buck to pick up the victory in this amazing last 5 minutes of this match to become your new IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, and again, probably one of the better story matches of the night. So the next match we have up is, I guess, a Legends match, if you will, taking on the Bullet Club. So it's going to be the Bullet Club. Cody, Hangman Page, Marty Scurll taking on Hiroshi Tanahashi, Jushin Thunder Liger, Rey Mysterio. Scurll and Liger started out. Scurll acted like he wanted Rey, but as soon as Rey tagged in, he tagged in Page. Page demanded Tanahashi, so Page got Tanahashi. Things kicked off. Tanahashi hit a shoulder block and played some air guitar because that's what he does. Cody comes in, does some push-ups, then some bicep pose. Tana's like, "Oh, bro, you think you're big, bro? I've been big for a while, homeboy." So Tana hits an arm drag right after that, but Cody slid through the ropes, then hits a diving punch. Rey and Scurll tag in, and this is where it gets hot. Rey hits a head scissors. Liger gets a quick hot tag. Scurll on the outside hits a baseball slide. Liger uses a Romero special on Scurll and quickly cuts it off. Cody and Page cut the ring in half and worked over Liger's left arm and left leg. Scurll tagged in and worked over his left arm, but ate a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker in the process. Rey got a hot tag, goes for the West Coast pop. He connected with an acai moonsault, into a DDT, setting Scurll up for a 619. Let me pause myself right here. Marty Scurll was in perfect placement for every single one of Rey Mysterio's moves during this match. This match was so good when Marty Scurll and Rey Mysterio were in the ring together. I hope Rey gets a chance to take on Marty one-on-one prior to him leaving back to WWE, and I'll get into that as soon as I get done with this match here. Scurll tags out, avoiding the 619. Tanahashi tags in, hits a dragon screw, twist, shout on Page. Page knocked Rey off the apron, then Tana tagged. Tana and Page hit simultaneous lariats, leading to a double down. Cody and Liger get tags, trade near falls. Scurll and Rey come in. Rey hits a 619 on Page and Scurll, then Tanahashi hits a sling blade. The finish saw Liger hit a Hurricane Rana on Cody, but ended up eating a lariat. Then Crossroads, Cody pinning Liger to pick up the 1-2-3 for the Bullet Club. And after the pin, both Tanahashi and Rey Mysterio jumped in to chase off the Bullet Club. This was just a fun match. Rey and Marty looked awesome together. I'd love to see that more down the line, but at the same time, I think I'd also really like to see Jushin Liger and Rey. So let me get into this Junior Heavyweight Championship match. Hiromu Takahashi taking on Will Ospreay. This match started off hot, quick, crazy pace. Ospreay landed some strikes, but Hiromu suplexed him into the corner. Hiromu went for a sunset bomb, but Ospreay blocked it. They spilled to the outside, fought on the ramp. Ospreay gets this 40-yard dash, 30-yard dash, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Gets this crazy running start. Tries to go for like a flip dive onto Hiromu. Flips over the guy, barely catches him. It comes crashing to the apron. What the fuck, bro? Okay. Ospreay pulled some ringside padding, and then had Hiromu throw him back inside, beat the count before doing anything with the now exposed concrete. Ospreay hits a running drop kick in the corner and then works the uppercut. Ospreay tied up Hiromu's arms and bridged him into a backslide for a near fall. Hiromu rolled onto the floor to escape. Ospreay followed, sending him into the barricade. Back inside the ring, Hiromu went for a chinlock, but Ospreay reversed, continued the attack through the left arm. Ospreay used an armbar and a chinlock, but Hiromu escaped. He hit a flying head scissors with a dropkick in the ring, then a shotgun dropkick off the apron, sending Will Ospreay into the barricade. Back inside, Hiromu hit bombs away sentons, earning a near fall. Ospreay bounced off the ropes right into a pop-up powerbomb for another near fall. Hiromu chopped Ospreay in the corner, raking the eyes. Ospreay rebounded and hit his top rope 619 and pip cheerio into a springboard lariat. It is a springboard lariat. Ospreay goes for the Robinson special, but Hiromu dodged it. Used the tarantula. Hiromu on the floor. Ospreay connected with a space flying tiger drop, then uses a sit out inverted DDT for a near fall. Goes for a nos cutter, but Hiromu turns it into a suplex, landing right on the back of his neck. And then they went to a double down. They traded stiff forearm shots on the mat, climbed to their feet, and continued to trade. They did an incredible sequence trading reverse Hurricane Ranas, or reverse Frankenstein, and suplexes. Ospreay went for a Stormbreaker, but Hiromu turned it into a code red. They crawled onto the apron, traded shots. Ospreay climbed inside, deadlifted Hiromu, and hit a superplex. He kept head and arm control, draped Hiromu over the ropes, and hit the Burning Star Press, which is the corkscrew shooting star, aka the Red Arrow. Ospreay goes for the Stormbreaker again, but Hiromu made it to the ropes and turned it into a Canadian Destroyer, which looked awesome. This Canadian Destroyer was awesome. Hiromu replied to Triangle Choke as he did all throughout the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. Ospreay tried to break the hold with a powerbomb, failed. He tried again and appeared to spike Hiromu right on top of his head, finally breaking the hold. Ospreay hit the Robinson Special, went for the Oscutter, but Hiromu pushed himself off and hit a Sunset Bomb onto the exposed arena floor. Back inside, Hiromu hit the Dynamite Plunger for a near fall and then went for the Time Bomb, but Ospreay escaped and hit a series of kicks to the head. Ospreay again with a Stormbreaker, but Hiromu turned it into a triangle. Ospreay looked to break the hold again, but Hiromu spiked him with a butterfly pile driver, landing him right on top of his goddamn motherfucking head. Just the head, my lord. Then he hits him with the DVD in the corner, hits him with the Time Bomb, picks up the 1-2-3 to become not only the winner of the Best of the Super Juniors this year, but the new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. I felt like this was probably an easy 5-star match. This match was very much so attention grabbing, kept you on your toes. It had a lot to offer. I think Hiromu Takahashi is going to be a very good champion as time goes on. Will Ospreay will continue to get better, as you know, if he's not already great. These are two of the top 5 wrestlers in the world today, probably. So imagine, hopefully, we'll get some just good talent coming up, in the next 15 to 20 years, and this new style that guys like Will run without landing on their goddamn necks, can take over. So we have a whopping 2 matches left, and one of them just so happens to be Chris Jericho's return to New Japan Pro Wrestling, and the other one is a badass 2 out of 3 falls street fight. I'm just kidding. No, it's a 2 out of 3 falls match for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Kazuchika Okada, Kenny Omega. The 4th meeting, and in my opinion, the best meeting. But first, we get into Jericho versus Naito for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. And I think the interesting thing to think of here, as we want to think about all Chris Jericho matches in New Japan, possibly being the same in a way, but the fact of the matter is they're really not. Chris feels like he's, I guess, a little bit more on the free side. Nobody's telling him what to do. He's out there, he's having his kind of style matches. Yes, there's a WWE feel to some of them because he does go on a little run every now and again of just like his WWE moves. But then he throws in some others that, we haven't seen in a while. But this match was interesting. Comes out, has a completely new gimmicks. He's still Alpha Club, blah, 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 but looked like some kind of Clockwork Orange-ish, whatever the fudge. Looked interesting. Came down Naito. It's tranquilo as always. Right when the match starts, Jericho jumps Naito from the before the bell even rings, actually. And these guys wrestle for about 3 or 4 minutes. before they actually get in there, this is what happens. Jericho jumps Naito, sends him into the barricade, suplexes him on the floor, sets a table up against the barricade, and in these, like, we all know, or at least those who watch New Japan, at least, a few times, and you've seen a table spot, you know that these are shoot tables. Okay, these aren't gimmicked. They're not like the thin plywood. These are like a 1/4 inch thick wood, steel frame. They're not meant to really snap, but he hit the fucking sweet spot of this table, and it looked awesome. Like, it looked like the nastiest bump, because, like, oh my god, that table, it's a fucking shoot. You know what I mean? Like, this is gonna suck. And he just goes right through it. It looks awesome. Jericho picks up Naito, hits a DDT on the timekeeper's area. Naito's head hit in like an awkward ass way, and it looked like he was bleeding, but you didn't really see from where. So, but you could see a little blood streaks because he was still wearing his white suit. The crowd chanted for Jericho as he tasked Naito inside the ring, yelling at the ref, "Ring the fucking bell! Ring the fucking bell!" So the ref goes, and, like, alright, bro, calm the fuck down. He rings the bell. And then hits a low blow. Or no, hits right. Once he throws him in, gets 1 count, hits a low blow, then a lion salt. Hits him in the walls, but Naito gets to the ropes. Naito finally getting a comeback, slapping Jericho in the face. It's a neckbreaker slingshot, drop kick into the corner. Connects with a neckbreaker on the apron, and then another from the apron to the floor. Naito took off his entrance suit and choked Jericho with his pants before sending him into the barricade. A close-up of Naito revealed that he was bleeding from his right eye. It looked like he just kind of got scraped. He then later on got scraped later on in this match, and more fortuitous juice, if you will, has come arrived. But I do mean, like, most there's a good handful of New Japan matches that, like, have blood every now and again. It's not super necessary, but, like, I felt this was nice. You know what I mean? Like, I don't always have to have blood in my matches, but I felt like this, it's a grudge match against these guys, beating the shit out of each other every time they turn around. Jericho escapes, locks on the walls again. Naito has been laying in the hole forever. Finally, the crowd gets behind him. He's able to get the ropes. Naito clothesline Jericho onto the top rope. Goes for the Destino. Jericho catches him, sets him down very gently, and picks up a near fall. There was a slight stumble, like when he was trying to save him. It wasn't like, it was noticeable, but at the same time, and I'll make this comment probably multiple times, Jericho didn't exactly look like he was in ring shape. He looked like he was in tour shape. Compared to the physique he had while working with Kenny, he's put on weight. He's a little on the extra flabby side, So, but it is what it is. Like I said, not exactly ring shape. Tried to save him, could. Anyway, Naito ends up hitting the Destino. Jericho gets his hands on the rope at about 2.5. They trade slaps. Naito hits a flying forearm. Jericho catches him with a code breaker. Only gets a 2 count. They trade strikes on the mat. Go to their feet. Naito is now bleeding from the ear. That's where it was, the ear. Naito went for a Destino, but Jericho stopped it. Went for a lion salt, but Naito got the knees up. Naito hit Gloria. He went for a second Destino, but Jericho pulled the Red Shoes into the way with the ref down. Jericho hit a load blow and a code breaker, picking up the 1, 2, 3. Jericho continued after the match, he became your new IWGP Intercontinental Champion in a shocking upset, at least in my opinion, considering that this guy, we don't know if he's going to stay, we don't know if he's going to go, we don't know how long he's going to stay because they just put the belt on him, so we have an intention that he is not going back to WWE anytime soon. But I'm also hearing we're not going to see him in New Japan for quite some time. I'll get into that in just a second. So again, he continues to beat him up. Evil runs down to make the save. Jericho took the powder and left, raising the belt. Jericho has been reinventing himself over and over again. This one felt like he was more of like a Bruiser Brody type. It's exactly how this match felt. This was a good match. Like, I'm not gonna bag on the match. It was a good match. It looked stiff. It looked like a street fight, which is kind of what this match was. So you can't compare this match to his match with Kenny. And truth be told, if you really felt like it, it's not on par. Like, the story was not really the same at all. I don't know. It's a whole different feel. This was a good outing for Jericho, a good outing for Naito. I think Naito is going to turn around and be like the company's big heel. He's not very, as you see, he wasn't exactly loved when he went against Chris Jericho. So that might tell you a little something there. But I think maybe, here's my thing, and I'm jumping a little bit ahead. G1, I'm thinking it's either going to be Kota Ibushi or Naito is going to win the G1, and they're going to take on Omega at the Tokyo Dome. Now, if it's Kota, I don't know if I see Kota winning. I think I would see Kenny winning. But if it was Naito, I think that's when it's, time to give it to Naito, and we'll probably see Kenny and possibly the Young Bucks on their way to WWE, as I'm sure when their contracts are expired, WWE is going to throw money at them. And I'm not kidding when I say that. They're legit probably just going to throw these guys contracts, $20 million a year, or not $20 million a year. Holy shit, nobody should make that in pro wrestling. Guys in football shouldn't be making this. But anyway, I digress. Hey, dude, we'll give you a $4 million a year contract. You make as much money as Brock Lesnar. You work a regular schedule, though. Doesn't sound horrible. You make the biggest money you can make, but you're working a regular schedule. So, I don't know. But, again, the shocking upset of the night is Jericho becoming IWGP Intercontinental Champion. Of course, off on a ramble. It is what I do best. We are going to finish now with Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship in a 2 out of 3 falls, no time limit match. They did a video package before the match outlining Omega's journey back to challenging for the championship. Kota Ibushi came out with Kenny for this match. Omega got the first near fall with some chain wrestling exchange. Omega missed a V-trigger. Then V-trigger attempted into the buckle pad. Omega ducked a Rainmaker and lifted Okada for a one-wing angel. Okada reached the ropes, both pulled them to the floor. They fought to the floor, and Okada sent Omega into the security rail. Went running for his big-time cross-body and ran straight into a V-trigger. Now, at first glance, I thought Okada caught his foot. Oh no, and Kenny improvised. Now, after going back and looking at this, he did catch his foot. Will that fuck up his, where he's going? I'm not 100% on that. But I still feel, and like I said, this could be a planned V-trigger, which was awesome if it is, but I still feel this was a Kenny save move. You're going to fuck up. You're not going to reach me. I'm going to go a little bit further up. I'm going to hit you with this V-trigger because he didn't get all of it. If you watch it, he didn't get all of it. So, but I digress from the amazing match this was, and I will continue to put it over as much as possible as soon as I get there. Anyway, Okada runs into the V-trigger. Looks like Okada might have caught his foot on the railing. See, I know I was right. I'm reading my own notes over again, and I know I'm right because he did catch his foot. So, But anyway, he goes down, he's selling his arm. It looks scary when he hit the ground. That's why I'm saying, I think it was like an accident and Kenny caught him. You know what I mean? But that's just my personal opinion. So, Omega tosses Okada back inside, hits a few elbow strikes to the neck, picks up a near fall before attacking the upper back with kicks. Omega hitting a running drop kick to the neck of the seated Okada, picking up a near fall. Omega hits a backbreaker for another near fall to establish firm control of the first bout. Omega used a chin lock, then a camel clutch. Shocking, it's Okada's move. Okada did an incredible job selling his neck and traps. Omega hits a series of hard chops to the chest and back. Omega goes for the V-trigger off the ropes, but Okada turned it into a flapjack. His first meaningful offense in probably about like the whole opening sequence. He did go for a little bit, and then, yeah. So Okada hit a pair of running elbow strikes, then a DDT near fall. We hit to the 15-minute mark. Omega misses with a plancha, and Okada immediately tried to follow up with one of his own. Okada teased the top rope elbow, but Omega popped up and hit him with a Hurricane Rana. He sent Okada outside and hit him with a baseball slide, sending Okada in and over the rail. Omega hit a springboard crossbody from the ring to the floor, sailing over the railing. It was awesome. You see Red Shoes like, hey man, you don't want to do that, man. Hey man, you don't want to do that, man. And here goes fucking Kenny like, fuck you, bro. And just the height he got. I know he got a little spring from the ropes. He's done this move a couple times, but every time he does it, I think it's fucking awesome. He full-blown clears the railing like it's nothing. Back inside the ring, Omega hits a crusher, goes for the V-trigger, but Okada catches him and suplexes him. He tries to bridge it into a pinfall, but his neck gives out. Okada tried to retain wrist control, but Omega breaks it. That was another thing in this whole match. You noticed over and over and over again that Okada kept trying to go for wrist control or body control, waist control, hand control, wrist control. He tried to keep control of what all was going on. They fought into the corner, and then they teased a dragon suplex off the top, but Okada blocked it and pulled Omega onto the apron. Hits a tombstone on the apron and was unable to follow up. Now we hit past the 20 minutes. Omega stood on the apron, and Okada hit a shotgun dropkick, sending Omega into the railing, ribs first, which looked nasty. And I do mean nasty, to the point where Red Shoes teased a stoppage. Okada landed strikes to the rib and then sent Omega back inside. Okada hit an incredible dropkick off the top rope, picking up a near fall because his dropkicks are gloriously awesome. Okada went to the top and hits the elbow drop. Okada does his Rainmaker pose, and Omega pounced, hits a Snapdragon suplex. Okada rolled to the floor. Omega hit the Rise of the Terminator on the 25-minute mark. Back inside the ring, Omega hits a missile dropkick back to the back, picks up a near fall, maintains control, went for a one-winged angel. Okada blocks, hits a V-trigger. Goes for the V-trigger. Okada blocks again. Omega hits a suplex, hits another V-trigger, went for it one more time. Okada slipped behind his back, hit the drop kick. Okada goes for a Rainmaker. Omega ducks, hits a V-trigger, picks up another near fall. Omega went for double underhooks. For a double underhook suplex, Okada slipped out, hit a tombstone, went for the Rainmaker. Omega slipped out, turned it into a sunset flipped attempt, but Okada sat down, picking up the first fall in 30 minutes of this match. Now, for those of you smart marks, if you will, who know exactly about the whole roll up into a sit down, that's Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Bret Hart. So again, guys, Okada fall number 1. I'm happy they did this. In between, they did 2-minute intervals where these guys could actually catch their breath. 2 minutes are up, and Omega comes out steaming, hot, and aggressive. Okada caught him, placed him on the top rope, then drop kicked Omega to the floor. Okada continued the attack to the ribs with strikes on the floor. Omega goes for a springboard off the railing, but Okada pushes him off into the second security wall. Okada hitting a draping DDT from the railing to the floor. Okada was back in first, and Omega goes back into the corner and gets back in by the count of 8. Omega hits a series of chops, but then runs into a big boot. Okada applied the Cobra Clutch, which no one is buying as a finish. Okay? We know this Cobra Clutch. Cobra! It sucks, and it shouldn't be his thing, but it's what helps him maintain wrist control. For those of you who wonder why he used the Cobra Clutch, it's a move that maintains wrist control, which you can go Cobra Clutch into the Rainmaker if he were to do so. Omega broke his hand with a stunner. Broke his hold with a stunner, pardon me. Then hit a back suplex. Okada rolled to the floor, selling his neck. Omega rolled to the outside and hit a back suplex from the floor to Okada on the apron. Omega placed an unopened table on Okada and hit a foot stomp from the apron to the table. Omega opened the table, but Okada fought him off and threw him into the post. They rolled back inside. The focus of the match here is selling, ladies and gentlemen. It felt like this is where it's like, okay, Omega has to win too. He's got to be the guy who hasn't really been beaten that much in his, during his title reign. So, it's a fight, and you have Okada selling his neck, and Omega selling, just the fact that he's, exhausted. So Okada hits a scoop slam, and Omega gets on his knees gets his knees up on a senton attempt. Okada hit an AA, then a shotgun dropkick, sending Omega into the corner. Okada climbed to the top rope for the elbow, but Omega cut him off and landed some chops. Omega crossed Okada's legs, then hit a superplex. Omega hit a rolling senton, then missed a follow-up moonsault, but as Okada got his knees up, Okada teased, tossing Omega over the rope through the table, but Omega came off the ropes and hit a DDT, then rolled to the apron. Omega teased a suplex from the apron to the table, which would be an incredible spot. Then they transitioned then also teased a dragon suplex, slipped to the floor. Omega teased a one-winged angel through the table. Okada countered and teased a Rainmaker, but Omega slipped out of wrist control, hit the reverse Hurricane Rana on the floor. Okada just beats the count at a whopping 19 and runs straight into a V-trigger. Omega going for the one-wing angel, but Okada slips out when he goes for the Rainmaker. Omega planted him with a Uranage, which is like this. If it was a Uranage, it was like a Uranage meets the rock bottom. It's fucking awesome. He could not follow with a pinfall attempt. They ended up trading strikes. Omega hitting a Snapdragon suplex. Okada countered with one of his beautiful drop kicks. Omega countered with a drop kick of his own, which looked better, folks. That's right, I said better. Omega hits a power bomb, then a V-trigger, another V-trigger, double underhook pile driver for a near fall. This place is rocking, screaming, Kenny, Kenny. Omega hitting another V-trigger, then the one-winged angel to pick up the fall. Omega picks up Omega picks up a fall here in the 2 out of 3 falls match right now. It's Okada 1, Omega 1. Next fall wins. Again, guys, there's a 2-minute break in between each and every bout. Gato and Ibushi are out there to tend both of their men because they are wiped out. This is just about the 50-minute mark. Their energy is lackluster, to say the least, but heart is what these men have most of, and determination, and everything in between. These men wanted nothing more than to put on the greatest show you've ever seen in professional wrestling, and by God, I felt like they did it. But they did it in the conclusion of the third fall, and I will get to that right now. So, what I will say, though, is if you're a professional wrestler, if you're an inspiring professional wrestler, if you're a long-term veteran as a professional wrestler, I want you to watch how Okada sold the one-winged angel. That man laid on the mat and laid on the mat, then laid on the mat while he laid on the mat. He was down to the point where Gato tried to buy some time because he was on the mat that long. And you have Don Callis saying, get him out of the ring, this is bullshit. Fucking Don Callis. Both Kevin Kelly and Don Callis made this even more better. They helped you with the insights. They kept telling you about the tidbits of stuff that happened in the prior meetings between these two. And it made you that much more invested in this match. So let's get back to the action. Omega hits an immediate V-trigger, then goes for the one-winged angel, trying to put it away quickly, but Okada slips out, hits a Rainmaker, but couldn't make the cover as he was exhausted. He finally covered Omega with one arm to pick up a near fall. Okada went for a tombstone, then settled for an axe handle at the 50-minute mark. These guys go back to a strike exchange. Okada tries an Irish whip, Omega for a dropkick on the rebound, but Omega collapses. Omega recovers, goes for a powerbomb, ends up turning it into a Styles Clash. Okada reaches the ropes as a AJ Styles chant breaks out around the crowd. Omega hits a V-trigger, sending Okada's head into the turnbuckle pad. He went for a one-winged angel, but collapsed again, completely exhausted at this point. He went for another, did a series of reversals, and Omega hit a spike pile driver for a near fall, in which he jumped on the apron as Cody did in prior matches, teasing to throw in the white towel. Omega goes for the Ibushi tells him Phoenix Splash, go for this Phoenix Splash. So Omega actually goes for this Phoenix Splash, which looked pretty alright. But he misses, unfortunately. Okada then hits a dropkick to the back, goes for the tombstone. Omega slips out and hits another V-trigger. Okada got to his knees, and Omega hit two V-triggers in a row. This Okada-Omega thing it's a lot harder to read than you think, folks. Omega goes for a third, but Okada catches it, hits him with a dropkick. Okada hits another dropkick, then goes for the Rainmaker, but Okada claps while executing the move and could not complete it, nor go for a cover. They did a double down, teasing a stop as the crowd reacts in a big way. Both men back to their knees, trading strikes on the mat, and Omega hits a headbutt to Okada as they go to their feet. Okada hits the Rainmaker and maintain wrist control as he goes for another. Gives up wrist control. Okada pulled Omega up by the tights and went for another, but Omega ducked it, hit a suplex, maintaining control of Okada's waist. Hit another and still held the waist. He went for a third, but Okada countered into one of his own. Okada grabs wrist control and they went for a Rainmaker, but Omega ducked, hits a snap suplex and a reverse Hurricane Rana. Omega going for the V-trigger, but Okada jumped to his feet and hit a dropkick. Okada goes for the Rainmaker, but Omega turned it into a one-wing angel near the ropes. Omega used the ropes to pull himself up, hit a V-trigger, then another one-wing angel in the middle of the ring to make the cover to pick up the 1, 2, 3. Kenny Omega does what most people thought was not only impossible, but unthinkable. He defeated Kazuchika Okada twice in one night to become our new IWGP Heavyweight Champion of the world, putting a 700-plus day reign to an end. And what I quite possibly think is not only the greatest match I've ever seen, but quite possibly the greatest match in professional wrestling history. Now, this is definitely something that's up for debate. Some people see this, some people don't. I have watched this match now 4 times over. I completely say the same thing each and every time. Best match ever. Best match I've ever seen. And I think the reason for that is, like I said, because we had great commentary helping us along the way, helping us make us more invested in this match. You had the long-term build, the almost 2 years build. Now, granted, guys, let me stop myself. I know I'm going on a great rant here. But Roman Reigns has had 4 years to try to take the title, or I guess the top spot, if you will, in WWE. It took Kenny Omega 2 years. And not only is he at the top, but he was considered the best wrestler in the world prior to beating the best wrestler in the world. So not only does this match hopefully bring everything, together and it's all over. And this was great. And, if we see them fight again, awesome. But if we don't, at least this is what we're left with. And you can't say it's bad by any means. Worst case scenario, you guarantee this match is easily a 5+ star match. Easily. Now, after the match, Don Callis sounds like he's crying. He's like, oh my God, he did. Don Callis is awesome, like I've been saying all podcast long. The commentators for New Japan blow WWE the fuck out of the water. Okay? And that is a fact of life. Anyway. So, Kenny's he's being presented with the title belt. But as that happens, the Young Bucks come down. He pushes the title belt to the side as he goes to hug Matt Jackson, because friendship is more important than winning championships. And as the Young Bucks, Kenny and Kota Ibushi are all celebrating Kenny's glorious victory, out comes Cody. Looks like a scared puppy hoping to make amends with Kenny. And he ends up hightailing it back the other way. And if I'm not mistaken, I said in the beginning of this thing, they're going to be going against each other. And if I did not say it in the beginning of this thing, I'm saying it now. Kenny Omega versus Cody at the Cow Palace for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. So, well, that's that, guys. This was a long show, to say the least. I went into everything prior, well, most of the stuff prior to this awesome show. And this was a very, very awesome show. I feel bad for Money in the Bank. I don't think Money in the Bank is going to get close to this. Maybe NXT might be within the same realm, but I'm not 100 on that either. And again, I'm not bagging anything, but when you put on a show this great and you see matches this incredible, it's hard to kind of take a mediocre match and call it amazing. So, I'm still looking forward to this weekend. I hope all is going to be well during this weekend. If you have not seen these matches and you're listening just me, stop what you're doing. Go watch them. Go watch them right now. Put me on pause. I'm only going to ramble for about a few more minutes anyway. Hell, you could stop listening to me. I'm just kidding. You better listen all the way through. Anyway, all these matches need to be, or at least this entire show should be given a once-over. Okay? If you fast forward through a couple matches, you fast forward through a couple matches. Matches I highly recommend you watch are the 6 that got a 4-star minimum. And that's Tomohiro Ishii and Yano taking on Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr. That's one of them. You have the Junior Heavyweight Championship match. Hiromu Takahashi and Will Ospreay. You had the Young Bucks taking on Evil and Sonata for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Champs, excuse me. You had probably the Juice Robinson match. Yeah, I guess you can go with the Juice Robinson match. David Finlay taking on Yoshihashi and Jay White. That sets up their Cow Palace match for the U.S. Heavyweight Championship. And, of course, check out the IWGP Heavyweight Championship match and the Chris Jericho match. All great watches. So, I have no more for you, gentlemen. I will hopefully have gentlemen and ladies, hopefully there's some ladies listening to my wrestling community, to the wrestling community. I hope you enjoyed my episode, my comeback episode, if you will, to the Major League Show. My apologies for the hiatus, but I'm back, and New Japan is going to be only getting bigger through the times, so expect to hear more from me. Now, as for everything else that's going on, I personally will be going to San Francisco to watch the Cow Palace show, and I will hopefully give maybe a live review on the way home. We'll see, or quite possibly just something awesome, but we'll see. So keeping ears and eyes out for that one. Also, I will be coming at you later down this week with a fresh episode of Smack Talk. As the go-home show for Money in the Bank is happening, Smack Talk is going down when your boy watches SmackDown. So, keep your ears and eyes out for that one. So thank you so much, guys, for listening. I do appreciate it. Please leave me comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe this video here. Again, all your RWT awesome content can be found on our awesome YouTube page right here on RWT Wrestle Talk. So check us out all day, every day. This has been ya boy, Moses Marquez, for the Major League Show, and we'll catch you around the bend, boys and girls. Have a great night.